Even as we speak here on these developments, joining us live here on this entire broadcast is Mohibul Hasan Chowdhury, the former minister of the government of Bangladesh in the Sheikh Hasina cabinet. Mr. Chowdhury, thank you very much for joining us exclusively here on NDTV. Your first reaction on this entire development. Of course, I read the 5-page statement that came in from Sheikh Hasina, the former Prime Minister. In fact, last evening I interviewed her on this entire development in New Delhi, where she spoke about Yunus as an authoritarian and also having links with radicals and terrorists and giving them a free run. But what's your first reaction to this new development coming in, death sentence to Sheikh Hasina from Yunus's ICT?
It was a staged drama. They know that this verdict is not implementable, so they had to give something. They've pre-written the judgment. The tribunal's chairman was not even present in the court for the last 1 month. The court's constitution itself is illegal because the interim regime does not have any legal authority to amend the laws of the tribunal, which they have done in order to put us all in trial in this kangaroo court. We are calling it a kangaroo court because no procedure was followed. We were not allowed to appoint our chosen lawyers there. They had classed us as fugitives. And some of the senior lawyers in Dhaka wanted to fight for our leader, Sheikh Hasina. They were all denied. They were not allowed to go to court. So a trial had taken place where no representation was made on our behalf. A trial had taken place where the court was constituted illegally through an ordinance without the parliament's sanction, and not enough evidence was even disclosed to the public. I mean, let's say, for example, the audio clip, which they had claimed that was an instruction by the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to use lethal force. But the context of...
All right, Mr. Chowdhury, these are important points that you're making on this entire so-called trial and investigation against the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. But the bigger question here is also the road ahead. Sheikh Hasina is here in New Delhi, where we are reporting from, but there are elections that have been announced, referendum that's been announced. So what is the road forward for the Awami League that seems to be banned completely? You do not have the freedom to contest elections. So how will you politically or legally challenge this verdict that has come in?
Awami League has faced this since 1975. We were banned in the past and we rose from the ashes. And that's what we will do this time too. We still command the support of the majority of the people. If these people are so confident over their public support, why don't they allow us to participate in the election? Let the people decide who should be tried and who should be representing them. And in a duly elected parliament, these laws should be ratified and then trial should take place. We are not against trial. We are not against investigation. So Awami League knows how to deal with this kind of governments. We've done it for the last 75 years of our existence, and we will do it also in the near future. So we will continue our protest. We have enough support within our population, and we will see if they are able to hold the election as they are claiming to hold it in February. So our focus will be that we will convince the people not to take part in this sham electoral process that they have declared. These people have no mandate to change the constitution. They're changing the constitution even before the elected representatives of the people have taken a seat in the parliament. So the entire process is illegal. People are not with them. We will continue our protest. Our Prime Minister's son, Shajib Wajed, the former ICT advisor, he has already said this, that they want to push the country towards civil war. If that is what it is, then let's face it then.
All right, you're saying that you're ready for a civil war if that's what Yunus wants in Bangladesh. That's a strong statement coming in. But Mr. Chowdhury, we also have the Indian government now reacting. We're putting that out on the screen, the breaking development. The Indian government saying that as a close neighbor, India remains committed to the best interests of the people of Bangladesh, including in peace, democracy, inclusion and stability in that country. We will always engage constructively with the stakeholders to that end. How do you see India's role when it comes to Bangladesh? Because when I interviewed Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina last evening, she told me she's thankful to India for the refuge that has been given, and this really speaks about the decades-old relation, the historic ties between Dhaka and New Delhi. Of course, India had a significant role to play in the history of Bangladesh and the ties with Sheikh Mujibur Rahman as well. But in the future, how would you see India's role, especially when your leader is taking refuge in New Delhi?
We are not saying that we want civil war in the country, but these people are pushing the country to the brink of a civil war. We have fought dictatorial regimes in the past, and we will fight them as well. Between Dhaka and New Delhi, we see that this interim government, for no reason, let's say they don't prefer us, they don't want us to be in politics, but why such cozying up with Pakistan? Why invite Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed's leader into Bangladesh? Why bring in Maulana Fazlur Rahman into Bangladesh? Why bring in ISI officials into Bangladesh? Why bring in Pakistan military officials into Bangladesh? Bangladesh and Pakistan does not have much tie. They want regional instability. And they know that they do not command the support of the majority of the people. So they know there will be chaos. They know there will be violence, which is what they want. In order to keep their legitimacy, in order to continue their grip in power, they want the country to remain unstable. But we will not let that happen. We've seen this kind of efforts made in the past, and they have not succeeded. And this time also, they will not succeed.
All right. Thank you very much, Minister Mohibul Chowdhury, the former Minister of Bangladesh, joining us. Very strong statements coming in that Yunus perhaps wants a civil war. He wants an anarchy. There's no democracy. But the biggest of all, he says that Yunus is welcoming ISI generals and people from the ISI and Pakistan openly to Bangladesh. What does this talk about the security architecture, the new wave of radicalism in Bangladesh? We'll keep you updated about the latest, even as the big development comes from Dhaka on the death conviction on Sheikh Hasina.